This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
It's Tuesday, September 8th, and time for the Barbados Today afternoon update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. The results of the Trinidad and Tobago general elections show a clear shift in Caribbean politics. That's according to political scientist Dr. Tennyson Joseph, who explains that a trend has emerged during the last few years of one-term governments or the re-election of governments with weak majorities.
A general trend we're seeing in the Caribbean is towards the rejection of incumbent governments. And there are a number of explanations for that, but the main one being the kind of difficult economic situation in which our countries find themselves. And voters are electing parties into office with very high expectations. And very often those expectations are not met. And so the trend we've been seeing are basically towards one-term governments. There are very few of those. Since around 2006, there are very few countries that have bucked the trend, Barbados being one of them. So most of the elections I've been following from 2006 right down, you have one-term governments or you have governments that are being elected on very, very narrow majorities. So Barbados is an example of a narrow majority. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a narrow majority. The only exception to that trend towards one-term governments and narrow majorities is the Dominica case.
Trinidad and Tobago's opposition People's National Movement of Dr. Keith Rowley was swept into power yesterday, winning 23 of 41 seats in Parliament, relegating the People's Partnership of outgoing Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar to a one-term government. Dr. Joseph, a lecturer at the University of the West Indies Keyville campus, tells Barbados Today the results clearly shows disillusionment by the electorate with incumbent governments.
So what the voters do, they just vote one in, it disappoints and they vote it out. They vote one in, it disappoints and they vote it out. That is not in the past, before the past elections, you had three-term governments. Sometimes in a country like St. Lucia, you had a government of one party for three to four terms. Trinidad for 3 to 4 terms, Antigua for 3 to 4 terms, and so forth. Barbados and Jamaica always had a kind of two-term swing. But even the two-term swing has come to an end because when after got 3 terms and PJ Patterson got 4 terms, the trend was broken. But after that, roughly since 2006, you've been seeing, or let's say the early year, roughly around 2006, you have a pattern of what I call the rejection of incumbents in Caribbean German elections.
Meantime, Prime Minister-elect Dr. Keith Rowley will take the oath of office tomorrow at 1 p.m. and he's promised a new era in governance in his victory speech last night.
The majority of our victorious candidates are new to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, and many of them are new to my leadership, and some of them are even new to the party. But I want to give the country the assurance that all of us, new and old, young and not so young, we will be guided by the fundamental principles of the People's National Movement and the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago.
At the same time, outgoing Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar, in conceding defeat, called on supporters to respect the democratic process.
Today, we saw a democratic process in train, and therefore, we must respect the wishes of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They have chosen, and I respect their wishes. Of course, we'll be disappointed with the result in the whole, but we must respect the democratic process, and I wish everyone in our country the best wishes I can give for a better tomorrow and a better future.
In other news, lawmen are investigating an incident which left 2 young men nursing gunshot injuries. Police spokesman David Welch tells Barbados Today an 18-year-old was shot in his right calf and a 19-year-old in his left foot when unknown assailants opened fire on a group of men who were liming in Denton Road, Gazettes, St. Michael's around 9:15 last night. The two were taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by private vehicle for treatment. Take parenting seriously. That's the call from the director of Barbados, Marcia Graham, at the height of growing concern about increasing incidents of child abuse in Barbados. Graham tells Barbados Today too many parents, especially the young, are unprepared for parenting and are finding it hard to cope. She urged them to seek help.
Many people are suffering in silence, and there are organizations out here who are asking them, we're asking you to come. We are going out into the community, we're meeting people, but you know, it takes a lot of effort, it takes discipline, and sometimes because that is not as strong as it should be, they are not coming to get the help that is necessary.
There is a call for young people in Barbados and the rest of the region to get involved in agriculture. It comes from S. Wolf Reed, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, during a workshop at the Accra Beach Hotel yesterday.
The focus of this workshop is timely, especially at this time when most Caribbean countries are realizing aging farming communities, and there is their need to urgently encourage young people to enter the agriculture sector to replace the age cohort that is leaving. As it was said earlier, the average age of farmers in the Caribbean now tend to be above the age of 55. We can only, however, be effective in the drive for young people to replace the aging cohort that's leaving if the enabling environment presents itself for young people to see agriculture in the sense of a source of decent employment and viable enterprise.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
We pick up with news from our regional neighbors. Severe weather is headed to the already battered Dominica as early as tomorrow, and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is urging residents to be on their guard. According to weather officials, Dominica will be affected by two systems, a tropical wave, which is likely to produce heavy downpours, as well as Tropical Storm Grace by Friday. In a national address last evening, Skerrit warned that both systems spell trouble for the island, and now is not the time for citizens to take any chances.
Now is not the time for daredevil maneuvers. We have been given adequate warning of the likelihood of torrential showers and flash flooding, and we all must pay heed. I know it will be difficult, and I know it will be uncomfortable for many, but we're all one people, and we have got to batten down and see this period of trial and adversity through.
And finally, another reprieve for Roman Catholics from Pope Francis. The head of the church has unveiled the reforms making it easier for Catholics to get annulments and remarry within the church. Catholics seeking an annulment previously needed to show that the marriage was flawed from the onset and get the approval from two church tribunals. Just last week, the Pope granted a temporary reprieve for its members, making it easier for women and doctors to seek forgiveness for abortion. And that's news. For the latest, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. Subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on iZoomi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.